Well, hi everybody, and good afternoon wherever you are from. That the sun is shining in the afternoon, but I just want to say hi to everybody and welcome to Maori Chair TV, and welcome to the program. The program is called Talking Voices, and what Talking Voices is about Kiwis living abroad, and I interviewing Kiwis that live globally around the world and find out what they're up to, where they're born and raised, and what have they been doing since they moved away from New Zealand, and what they're doing today. So I've got a couple of good friends on. I always have friends. I don't have guests. These are all my friends, and I have a couple of good friends that are coming on at 3 o'clock, and it's Nicky and Gavin Bennett. Now, these people are, like I said, they've got a great story, and they've got a lot to tell us. So I'm pretty excited about it. So another just quick message before I bring them up. At 5 Alive today, 5 o'clock, I'll be doing 5 Alive, singing 5 songs. We'll be singing 5 songs at 5 o'clock. So we got 2 shows today. We got this one here, Talking Voices, and 5 Alive at 5. So this couple from New Zealand, they have done a lot since they have left New Zealand and come over to America. And their story is very, very interesting. So I'm dying to hear from them. And I have a few questions, and I'm sure they've got the answers. It's going to be fun, and looking forward to this. So, folks, I just hope you enjoy this whole afternoon on Talking Voices. And I'm going to bring them up right now because it's 3 o'clock. So here we go with Nicky and Gavin Bennett. So, ladies and gentlemen, here they are. The Kiwis from, let me see. I know Nicky's from Fielding in New Zealand, and Gavin's from Masterton. How you doing, folks?
Hi, guys. Kia ora.
Nice to have you on Talking Voices. Welcome to Talking Voices. So, from New Zealand, one's from Fielding, the other one's from Masterton. Who wants to go first? Oh, that one there, eh?
Oops, I just messed up our secret
Okay.
secret way of talking to each other.
Okay. There we go. So, yeah. So what about Fielding? You born and raised in Fielding?
So I was born in Fielding, but I spent most of my years living at Foxton Beach.
Oh, Foxton Beach.
My parents were both school teachers, so we traveled around a little bit, but we finally settled at Foxton Beach.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
And Gavin, what about you?
Well, I'm from the Wairarapa, as you mentioned, Dino.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Masterton.
Right.
Most of my family is from Wellington originally. But yeah, I was raised in the Wairarapa, I'm very proud to say.
Nice. So who's this?
Aww. Not me.
Is that Gavin?
I know. Look at those little cheeks. Doesn't it just make you?
Is that Gavin?
There's Gavin and all his hair.
He's not even saying anything. So it's got to be Gavin, right? It's got to be Gavin. So, wow, that's fantastic, my friend. That's years and years ago, eh?
Yeah, I think I might have been a couple of months old at that point. Well, probably a little bit older than that, because I was sitting up, so I was probably about 6 months old.
Yeah. I think you were able to sit up way back then. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So let me see if I can. I've done some research, and I've been looking around, and finding out a few things, and I just wanted to touch base with some people that know you, and and get some information on you. So let me show you this picture. Let me show you this one. Wow.
No, we look so beautiful again.
Yeah, where was that? In Fielding or in Masterton when you got married?
So we got married in 1990 at the Salvation Army in Foxton, because that's where I used to go to church and youth group and stuff.
Right.
So that was in actually that was in the backyard of the people that owned the local pub, which is also where we spent our first married night, was at the pub in Foxton, the Manawatu.
Wow, look at that.
Separate beds, no less.
Yeah.
Which was wonderful because we were exhausted.
Wow, that was. So, what year was that?
That was September 8th of 1990. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, you see, Gavin, the ladies always remember the days when they got married, and some men geez, I don't know, I can't remember, but the ladies are good at this stuff, man. They know when. So here, I got a picture of you guys here. Where was this one? Where was this one taken?
Oh, you're staying with the wedding things. All right.
Well, I'm just trying to sort of see what I have, first, like what my research team has done.
So go for it.
A research team.
Yeah, look at that, eh?
To be honest, I don't actually remember where that was taken.
Oh.
All right, we're divorcing.
But September 8th was a big day for us, Dino, because we planned our wedding day, and I went to tell my folks about this, my parents. Yeah. And my dad just about fell out of his chair because just completely by random accident, I had picked the same day as them, September 8th.
Really?
So,
yeah.
Did
you know that?
The day that we were married.
Wow.
We had to stand up when I thanked everybody. I gave special thanks to my mom and dad because that happened to be their anniversary as well.
Wow.
Pretty strange coincidence, really.
Strange, very special though at the same time, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it is
amazing, my friend. Hey, listen, I found a photo, and I don't know who this one is. I'm gonna show you. Maybe you know this person.
Oh, isn't she cute? Whoever she is, she must be a lovely, lovely person.
Yes, I wonder who it is.
You know what? I just don't know, but she's adorable.
Wow, look at that. Let me just sort of hang on. I'm going to go off the screen here.
Yeah. Yeah. I obviously must have been about 6 months old as well, because apparently I'm sitting up. But Gavin and I are not experts on babies by any stretch. So, but yeah. And I still have that little brooch. Yeah. And then the other picture was actually taken at Willie and Stacy's wedding on the boat when we did the cruise. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you remember.
Yeah. I know the guy that say yeah. That's Mr. Wallace. Yeah, Faraday. So I got to show you this picture, man. Gavin, look at that.
Look,
that was back during the days of Donny Osmond or something, the long hair, eh? Where was that picture taken?
Come on.
Well, that picture was taken right after we first met, actually. And
still back in New Zealand, eh?
I was, as you can tell, rocking the mullet. I thought it looked good, but I tell you what, these days everybody gives me grief about that picture. I had hair halfway down my back at that stage,
Yeah.
That's
what I have right now.
That was the way, back in the 80s. That's how.
Yeah. Wow, man, you were rocking the hair back then.
Mm-hmm.
And were you, what were you doing back then, Gavin?
Well, originally Nicky and I met when I moved to the Manawatu to Palmerston North.
Right.
I had gone there to go to nurses training at the Polytech.
Mm.
And, Nicky tells the story that we spied each other out the window, and it was pretty much instant attraction, to be honest. Even from
because I
day
was
one.
playing a guitar.
Well,
Right,
yeah, we did have a guitar, and I've always been kind of fond of those things.
Right.
So even from the first day we met, we pretty much hung out all the time together. It was that way from day one.
Right on.
I guess you'd
But-
say
Yeah.
we've been inseparable ever since, pretty much.
Well, you look like a musician too, back see the long hair and all that. So,
Yeah, I was. Yep.
so did you have your first guitar back then?
Oh yeah, I had
yeah.
a couple of them by then. I played in bands a little bit in the Wairarapa.
Nice.
A little bit, but
Yeah,
mostly just jam with my mates and stuff.
Right.
I was pretty much mainly self-taught on the guitar.
Yeah.
To start with, I picked it up about age 12, and just
Right.
It was one of the few things that I really got a lot of pleasure out of as a teenager, really.
Right. Right.
Had big dreams of, entertaining people and things like that. And
Cool.
that came later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, this is where it all started, I believe.
Ah.
Eh?
I
Nicky,
look good. Yeah, I look good in that picture. I actually think that's one of the nicest pictures ever of me. So yeah.
Right.
So Gavin finished his nursing in New Zealand.
Well, there you go.
Yep. And we immigrated to America in '92.
Right.
And because they were looking for overseas nurses at that point. So Gavin was recruited by a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. And I just came along for the ride.
So you left Masterton, or like you were both living in Masterton at that time?
In Palmerston.
In Palmerston? And so who went to Texas first? The both of you, or?
Oh, yeah, we were married at that point.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then you went to Texas.
Yep.
And who got the job?
Gavin.
Yeah.
Gavin.
Yeah. I wasn't a nurse when we left.
And what was the job again, Gavin?
They recruited me to come work on one of their wards, cardiac wards at that hospital. So we hadn't been married all that long, actually, and
Right.
we basically packed up our entire. I always tell the story. We packed up our entire lives into 4 suitcases, and off we went. Kind of basically stepping out into the unknown.
Yeah.
And didn't ever really question that, actually. It just seemed like the right thing to do at that time.
Yes.
And on reflection, when I'm older now, I kind of think, gosh, that was a big risk to take, but
Yeah.
it's been a wonderful journey for sure.
Well, this is something that I would like to say. There's not very, there's a lot of people that know Nicky and Gavin, but there's also a lot of people, they really don't know what you do. And because I know what you guys do, and you're one of the frontline people that help and aid a lot of people, and especially today with the pandemic and everything else that's going on. I just want to congratulate you guys for really being out there and helping people about, and educating people too at the same time. I know you do that because you're talking to people, and some of them are really having hard times, and you're there to support them and share with them about everything that you do. So can any one of you guys talk to me about that, or talk to the people that are out there that are listening?
Yeah, so I'm currently a nurse practitioner. My board specialty is in hospice and palliative care.
Yeah.
So I take care of people in their homes. I actually go to them rather than them coming to me. I deal a lot with end-of-life care, getting people comfortable and situated and ready to go on one of the most remarkable and miraculous journeys that we can do at the end of our lives.
Right.
And try and keep them comfortable and manage some symptoms. So I don't know. I accidentally fell into the hospice palliative care world. When I was working the emergency room for most of my career, I was always the nurse in the ER that would get the codes and the kids that weren't doing so well, and my nurse colleagues would pass those patients to me, and I never really understood why. And then one day, one of them said that I needed to go and work in hospice, and I refused to do it for many years because you don't get a second go round when you're on hospice. So the last thing you want to do is screw that up for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally gave in and went to work as a hospice nurse for a little while I was doing my nurse practitioner training, and haven't skipped a beat since. It's absolutely where I'm supposed to be. I absolutely love it. It's a hugely joyful area of medicine. And folks actually get to do whatever the hell they want to do instead of a bunch of nurses and doctors and practitioners telling them what they should or shouldn't do. So one of my favorite lines is when someone says, well, should I do this? It's like, well, I don't care. What do you want to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your life, your choice. I'm
Wow.
just here to help and support you.
So Gavin, let's hear from you, your work.
Yeah, I have about 32 years in nursing. I actually started working before we left home. I did a couple of years in Palmerston North Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And my specialty then was working in, they had an infectious diseases unit actually. So I was into specialty type stuff even then. And that was really interesting. And sadly, that unit has actually since closed because they've changed a lot of things. But then in '92, we came over and I went to work in what they call cardiac telemetry, which is like a step down from the cardiac ICU. And that was quite an experience because nursing in New Zealand and the United States are very, very different.
Yes.
And I basically had to learn my job on the fly from the ground up. And I had several people who were just amazing mentors to me and stopped me from doing anything too wrong to start with, to kind of learn what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I became interested in more in the intensive care area. So that kind of became my main specialty for quite a number of years, probably about 20 years or so. And I went into cardiac ICU and then surgical ICU. I spent a lot of time working with folks that had open heart surgery,
Yes.
which I know you're very familiar with. And that was an amazing experience. It was a hard job, but it was a good job. And pretty much the peak of that was eventually when we moved to Illinois. I spent 12 years as the ICU charge nurse on nights.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a lot of experience with that. But then as you get older, you find that doing shift work constantly is increasingly harder. The older you get, it's very very draining. You're sort of feeling like you're jet lagged most of the time. So after that, I became interested in working in home health, and I did a couple different jobs. And my current position is in home infusion. So I actually work in the community. I drive all around the Northern Illinois region, and I see people that have different needs for IV therapy, be it different specialty medications that they're getting intravenously, or they might be getting chemotherapy.
Yes.
And I love this job because I get to work with all different age groups, from little bubbas all the way up to elderly people, and no 2 days are over the same.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, it's a big difference working in the hospital versus working out with people in their homes, because when you work in the hospital as a nurse, those the patients are kind of on your terms. But when you work with somebody in their home,
Yeah.
the shoe's on the other foot. Believe me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure you have seen a lot. Well, the both of you have seen a lot. And, and I just want to say, I'm sure on behalf of the Kiwi community across Canada, United States, wherever they are listening to, and there's a few people that are listening today, I can see them, and a good friend, Jody. I see Jody on there. And I'm sure everybody is so proud of you guys for what you have done and what you are still doing today. And, it's not an easy job what you do, but I take my hat off to the both of you. And I just want to thank you for what you guys do and what you're still doing today, you know. But,
Well, we appreciate that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
but you still have to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
See, you still got to have fun. And I've got a picture of you guys here when you came to, I believe that was one of my birthdays. You guys showed up in Toronto. Now, I'm talking to you guys live from Chicago, from Rockford, Chicago. Because on Talking Voices, we've got, I'll be talking to people from different parts of the world. So you guys are live from Chicago, from Rockford, Chicago, and you came from Chicago to Toronto to celebrate my birthday.
We did.
And that's where you are at Hemingway's, right there. This is my favorite hot spot. And it was awesome to have you guys up there with us. Totally awesome.
That was a great weekend.
Yes, that was a fantastic weekend. And I got another picture of you guys here of this gentleman there. I think he is guy with the red shorts. Do you know him?
Well, you know what? We didn't know him when we went to his wedding. But now we do. Yeah. So that's Willie and Stacy in the middle, and Christine on the outside hanging on the Willie.
Yeah, let me see if I can get a better picture of everybody there.
There's a bunch of people with big, good hearts having a dang good old time. We figured the White House needed a little bit of uplifting and a little bit of some smiles brought to it.
Yeah, I thought Willie was going to go and sing in the White House.
Well, we tried, but they wouldn't let us in.
I'm sure he would have tried. Yeah, I'm sure he would have done. I'm sure he would have tried to get in there. That's for sure. So, and yeah, so now you guys have done a lot going around in Chicago too. So I just want to pull up some pictures here and show you. Nicky, can you talk to me about this?
Yeah, so we have the honor and the privilege every year of going to a powwow in the Chicago area that's especially for First Nation veterans. And that gentleman, his name's Saginaw Grant. And he actually flies in from LA every year to come to this powwow. But if you look closely, you might recognize him from the movie The Fastest Indian and a few other movies. He's lives in LA because he's a movie star. And he's just an amazing, beautiful soul. Him and I sat that day and talked about his trip to New Zealand and some of the really, really spiritual and beautiful experiences he had in New Zealand.
Amazing. And we've got another friend that, well, he was, I think that's in Chicago, right? That picture I've got there? Was that in Chicago?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Nico and Melody. And that was when we performed at Ruate Pupuke, the whare at the Field Museum in Chicago. So that's a really special place to go. If you're a Kiwi, I would recommend anybody that's Kiwi that hasn't been there please come to Chicago and go to the Field Museum, and you can go and visit one of the only Māori wharenui that's outside of New Zealand. I think there's 3 in the world, and that one is the only one in the United States, or actually in America. Right. And it's a really special place.
So if you go to Chicago,
really is.
Go and visit that. That's in the museum there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Yes.
Field
You might
Museum.
run into Nicky and Gavin, or you can contact them maybe, I'm sure. Anyway,
Yeah, and if you contact the museum, sometimes they'll actually, if you say that you're a Kiwi, they'll let you in for free, and say if you say that you're wanting to go and visit the marae.
Yes, yeah. So now talking about the museum, Gavin, you went to this museum down in Detroit, was it? Do you remember that one?
Yes, sir. It's Pittsville, USA, and anybody who's familiar with the music that came out of Detroit from the Motown studios will be familiar with Pittsville, USA. It's in Detroit, Michigan, and that building is actually the original studio and the original office buildings for Motown Records, and they had made it. It's a wonderful trip down memory lane for anybody that's into Motown music or 60s music to walk through there, and you can stand in the same place where My Girl was recorded.
Right.
And really, it's just an incredible place.
Yes, I have been to that place, and that's where the Temptations, Donna Summers, Aretha Franklin, and all them recorded in there. And I got an opportunity to sing in that studio under the dome. They had a dome there where the Temptations recorded a song called My Girl. And they had this echo dome where you step underneath it and you can sing, and they have the like a surround sound coming there from My Girl, My Girl. And that was amazing. That was amazing there. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, one of the cool little stories to go with that is the guitar that he's holding on to.
Yes.
He got most of his musical talent from his dad, and so that's the guitar his father gave him when he passed school C in the 5th form. So we have it happened to be in the car because we were heading to the Hangi. So
right. Yeah, talking about the Hangi too, because when I went down to Michigan, to the Hangi in Michigan, that's where I got to visit the studio down in Detroit. So that was amazing.
Yeah,
see that place. So where's this picture, guys?
his turn.
Oh, that is, I believe that is in Taranaki, your home.
My neck of the woods.
I believe that is at actually Dawson Falls.
Dawson Falls. Oh,
Taranaki. Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a big change from this picture I'm going to show you next. I'm going to show you this picture here. This is actually a fun one.
Uh-oh.
And I don't think that. I got a picture I want to show you, Gavin. Look at that, Gavin. Look at that.
Yeah.
Hey?
I love that picture.
I told you looked like a musician back then with the long hair and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And
you notice the T-shirt I'm wearing, I think it says Iowa on there. So even then, before we went to New Zealand, we had it planted in our mind, the dream of coming back to the United States. Right. Into that idea from even back then.
So that was his first electric guitar. He managed.
Really?
That was. Oh, you'll love this, guys. This was the first guitar he talked me into having to pay for.
Oh. Nice work. Nice job, Gavin.
Yeah, I was young and in love.
That's right.
Well, as you know, Dino, there's always room for one more.
Yeah. Thanks, Willie.
Yeah. There's always room for one more.
There's always room for one more.
Yeah. That's so. I'm just trying to find a picture. I'll show you this one here. I'll take away this one and put this one up. Look at this. That's of Nico. And by the way, I have sent an invitation to Nico to come on.
Yeah.
Talking Voices, and that'll be interesting when I have him on too. So Nico is a good friend of you guys. I think you see him quite often.
Yeah, he's actually going to be up here next weekend. We're going to do the spring solstice at Trickster with the First Nation.
Oh yeah, okay.
People again. So.
Oh, nice.
That will be a great occasion, and any Kiwi folk that would like to come out to Schaumburg that happen to be in the Chicago area and join us. We're going to be keeping the fire lit for the spring solstice. We've been tasked with that.
Nice,
so
nice.
Anybody that would like to join us and help with that next Saturday, please come. It's a really worthwhile experience.
Yeah, whereabouts is it, Gavin, again?
It's in Schaumburg at Trickster Gallery.
All right. Okay.
If you'd like to, anybody out there would like to PM us, we'll be glad to send you the contact details.
Yeah, nice, nice. Okay, so you're walking the streets with this guy playing the ukulele. Now, where was that, Gavin? That's Mr.
That was a trip to DC for the rugby. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was really fortunate because my wife had just bought me that beautiful uke, which, as you guys can tell, looks just like the one Willie has. So we were kind of like twins there.
Let me get a better picture of that.
We had fun that day. We walked the streets and we did entertaining the troops, as it were. Walked the streets and played a bunch of tunes. You know.
Yeah, he's something else. He's something else, that Mr. Faraday.
Uke shopping, I believe.
Ukulele all over the place.
Hey, Dino, are you able to go back to the picture of Nico?
Yes. You want me to find Nico and go back to the picture of Nico?
So I'd like to, because I'm kind of proud of that one.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let me find. Is that the one where he was?
Yeah.
Okay,
I can read mine.
In the meantime, I'll put this one up. You can talk to me about this one.
While you look.
Yeah. Okay, talk to me about that one.
So that was just a few weeks ago. We went up to northern Wisconsin to Lake in the Woods. Actually, we went and stayed with another Kiwi friend, Ian Pine, and his wife, Kelly. And we had met them over the summer when we said we'd stop in for a cup of tea on our way home because we thought we were driving home past their house. Turned out, no, we were completely wrong. They were actually another hour north of where we were, but we went anyway. So then they said, you got to come up for the winter and go snowmobiling. So we got to go up there when it was minus 37 degrees Fahrenheit and stand outside all day in the snow on a frozen lake watching people race snowmobiles. And it took them about an hour to get us dressed appropriately so that we wouldn't die in 5 minutes. And it was a blast. Yeah, so they're always up for visitors too. They love it. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember days like that when I lived in Quebec because I lived up there for 10 years. And 40 below on ski-doos, and I was just having fun. I flipped on a ski-doo. I flipped one over.
Oh, no
but
thanks.
it was a good memory, you know. I learned my lesson, so I got back on it. I got back on.
We rode them for the very first time on Friday by ourselves. Yep. And on Saturday, when we went to the races, Ian turned around to me and said, "So do you want to run in a race?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" So I ended up being the back passenger doing what was it, 84 miles an hour. Wow. It was fun.
So listen, is this the picture you're talking about? The one of Nico? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that, and Nico means a lot to us. So Nico's been working with Gavin a lot to teach him the haka and doing lots of kapa haka stuff with us. And he's at that moment he was actually gifting Gavin that taiaha.
Wow. Well, that's special, and I think you have that. Now, where's this, Nicky?
That's us performing at Trickster Gallery. We're not the best by any stretch of the imagination, but we put a lot of heart into it. So we often will just sing a couple of waiatas. Nico does a welcome, and he's been teaching Gavin. So him and Gavin also will do some taiaha.
So is this the one there where, Gavin, I think you can talk about this because I think Nico was teaching you the taiaha.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Am I correct there?
Yeah, he had just given me that taiaha not too long before that, and I think that might have been our first training session. Yeah, it's quite a privilege for me as a Pākehā to be able to hold one of those even, and for somebody like Dino who has the skills, Nico that has the skills to show somebody how to use it properly, and I'm pretty humbled by that. And that photo actually is again taken at Trickster Gallery, which is kind of like the linchpin for a lot of what happens with First Nation stuff in the Chicago area.
Right.
And shout out to Joe Podlasek, who's the CEO of that. And, you know, as Indigenous people of this land, you know, he's done tremendous amount to reach out to the Kiwi community in Chicago, and you know, there's a lot of common ground there, with Māori culture, and you know, I know it was really very meaningful for me to be included in that. You know,
nice.
I'm not Māori, but he has included us as well. So,
well, what you have done, Gavin, you know, and of course, Nico being there and teaching you, you know, and you have learned a lot. So a respect to you for taking it to heart, because I know you're serious of learning and you want to learn everything. So we appreciate that, you know, what you and Nicky do beside the job that you guys do, you know, so that's pretty cool. And Nicky, you got something here. If you want to explain that to the people. By the way, we've got people, you know, from Australia and New Zealand on. Thanks everybody for jumping on and checking out Talking Voices. Appreciate that. That's every Saturday at 3 p.m. Talking Voices. I have different guests. So Nicky, can you explain what's going on there?
Yeah, that would be my two boys being mean to me. So some of you might recognize the bald head guy. So that's Thomas Clark from Gizzy. He's a tamoko artist, and that is him giving me my. He's told me I'm allowed to call it a moko, so I call it a moko. On my arm, it was an interesting story because I wanted something very particular, and Thomas said he wouldn't do it. And so we were there watching Christine get her piece done, and he kept saying, well, when are we going to do yours? When are we going to do yours? And I said, well, we're not, because you wouldn't do what I wanted you to do. And so at lunchtime, he drew something on my arm and said, this is what you need. This is what you should have. And I sat there the whole time during lunch and just stared at it. And so that is me getting, my story. So it's built into there as my mom and my dad, Gavin, my sister and her family, my Iowa family, the Manawatu River, the beach I grew up on, and the Ruahine Ranges in the background of Foxton Beach where I grew up. So
well, that's amazing. I know that means a lot to you too.
Yeah, I got it. I got it when we had been here. It was my 50th birthday, but It was also, I had been in America 25 years and New Zealand 25 years. So it was it was a really important moment in time for me to realize that these are my roots. This is where I come from. This is who I am.
Yeah.
But this is also my home here. So.
Yeah, I got to show you one, too, of your friend. You have a friend. She
You mean the Australian?
Oh yeah, that
and
Australian.
she lives in Australia.
Yeah, we don't say her name anymore because she went back to bloody Australia.
Oh, she went. Oh, yeah, because she lived in Chicago with you guys, and now, yeah, she's a good friend of you guys. So I just thought I'd pull that one up and show you guys. So let me just step out.
Yeah, Christine. One day she'll come back. She'll realise that she misses us more than she does. Stacey's wedding again. You know, those people we didn't know, but we just went
Yeah.
to the wedding anyway.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So that's pretty cool. So Christine, you made it to Talking Voices.
Yeah. Moving
Yes.
on.
Here we go. Here's some more pictures.
Aww. I can't. Where was that?
That was in Chicago. I think that's when we were getting ready to come back to Toronto. We went to a restaurant. I believe we went to a restaurant just before we were headed.
It was like an Irish pub, and it was weird.
That's right. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember this group?
Oh yeah. Your turn.
Right on. Right on.
We have myself and
That's
Timmy,
right. Roger.
who interviewed last week, and then Roger Moffat, who is
Yep.
from
Timmy's one.
and Lindsay there also, Demi's wife, and then Roger Moffat, who's from Michigan.
Demi?
He's a Kiwi guy that lives in Western Michigan.
Yes.
And he just sent me last week a 2-foot long piece of lolly cake. And I
No way.
love Roger Moffat and lolly cake.
Now, isn't this place that we're at? You know the owner of this cafe, a Kiwi guy. It's called Mojo.
Yeah, Steve with Mojos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that place because when I was singing back in New Zealand, in Auckland, there was a club called Mojos, and I was
That's right.
I was the singing superstar there with had the Stevie Wonder and Tom Jones voice, and I was I worked at Mojos. So when I saw that, it was a memory kicked in. Say, wow, man, it just reminds me of back home. So that was pretty cool.
It's pretty neat to be able to go into Chicago and have a good flat white. And
Yes.
most of the kids that work there are Kiwis as well. So you can harass them a little bit and have a bit of fun.
Cool. So, what about
Chicago? Please visit Mojo Coffee. Shout out to Steve.
Shout out to Steve. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Steve and Mojo Coffee. Where was this taken?
Oh, that was taken outside of the entrance to one of the Denniston coal mines up in Greymouth. So my great grandfather actually moved over from England to work in the Denniston mines.
Oh yeah.
So I've got a bit of a family history there. But then the folks that are with us are actually one of the reasons that I wanted to come back to America. So I originally came to America in '84 as an exchange student to Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
That's my Iowa mom and dad. And they're just good old-fashioned farming people, and they don't go very far away from home, and they go watch the kids play basketball and what have you.
Yeah.
And when I finished my nurse practitioner, Gavin asked me what I wanted for a gift, and I said I wanted to take my Iowa mom and dad to New Zealand and close that circle. So
nice. So
really
Gavin, what can you tell me about that one? That was a nice hot spot down in Michigan. When we
that's a great place.
Michigan. And by the way, I hope that everything falls back in place again, so we can all go down there back to Michigan and enjoy the hanging. I missed the hanging down there, what Graham and Michelle put on.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. So hopefully all that will fall back into place where we can go down there and visit again. So, but I was curious to this car. Whose car was that?
Well, that was my first car. I'm not sure
really?
my dad. I don't think my dad quite understood that because he took the front seat out, the passenger front seat, so he could put his golf clubs in there. But yeah, that's Myrtle the Turtle.
Myrtle the Turtle.
Yep, Austin A35 with a really flash paint job.
Right.
Love that car.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Well,
random pictures.
yeah. Well, I just want to say, thank you for both coming on to the both of you for accepting the invitation to be interviewed. I know some stuff are personal, but you guys are very open-hearted, very open-minded, and I really, really do appreciate you guys coming on. So, just to end on this, I wanted to show this picture, Nicky, and you can just talk a little bit about this.
Thank you for
If-
showing us.
Yeah. So you can just remind everybody that's watching and listening in, because this is, I just hope that everything comes around, and if we do what we are supposed to do, and hopefully that everything will work out and come back to normal. So, Nicky, you go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to get tearful on this one. I knew I would, but that's okay because some of it's happy tears. This is Catherine and her family. She's one of my patients. They've given me permission to share their story and share the pictures. So I had a day on May 16th of last year when I got a phone call from my nurses that I had 3 patients that had COVID. One of them was at home, Ethel, and so she had lots of family there with her to take care of her. But Catherine and her husband lived in an assisted living facility that didn't have 24/9. And the family weren't allowed in there. So I came home after going and seeing them. They were both in bed together, and it didn't look like either one of them was going to survive. And so I came home and looked at Gavin. I said, I need for both of us to be okay with this choice because I'm going to catch COVID if I go back there. I didn't have the PPE. It was when we really didn't have anything. And he understood. And so I went back and spent the night with her and her husband. He died at 3 o'clock that morning. And I had to wake Catherine up and let her know that he was gone. And I just sat on the floor next to her for the next 3 hours waiting for the funeral home to come and take his body away. I opened a window. I quietly sung a little waiata. And I spent the night there until there was staff there the next day to take over care. So I didn't really think that she was going to make it either, but by the grace of God, and who God only knows why some people live and some people die with this disease. But they're really special people to me. I will have them in my heart forever. And 2 days later, I was positive for COVID and spent the next 6 weeks sort of getting through that. So,
Wow.
But thank you for showing that. It's a huge honor to have been there. It was heartbreaking, and it was one of the hardest things I've done in nursing, and I've done a lot of hard things when it comes to ER.
Yeah. Well,
but
again, Nicky, like I said, we all, like, I know the Kiwi community, that's the way we are. We think and we feel and we spread the love, and then we just want to thank you and Gavin for what you guys have done, and out there. So we really do appreciate it, and we send you a lot of love back. There's a lot of people on watching and listening, and a lot of comments on there. So I'm very thankful everybody's commenting on there. So once again, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys coming on. And next week, folks, just a reminder for next week. next Saturday. I'm going to have another Kiwi boy on, a Maori boy. Tiaka Kahi will be here next Saturday at 3 p.m. So don't forget to tune in. So Nicky, Gavin, thank you very much for coming on to Maori Chair TV and Talking Voices. Kia ora.
Bye, guys.